All right, good day everyone. I am Garglemi in your bus, and the novel I have chosen was The Giver by Louis Laurie. So the summary of this novel is The Giver by Louis Laurie is a utopian novel about a boy named Jonas who lives in a futuristic society which has tried to relieve its citizens of choices to ensure sameness, fairness, and equality. Jonas lives with his younger sister Lily and his parents. His father is a nurturer and his mother works in the Department of Justice. Every December, they hold a ceremony where each child moves up a year in school and receives special privileges. Jonas, who is 11 when the book begins, will have his future job assigned to him. Jonas has pale eyes, which are rare in his society. But he noticed that Gabrielle, a child who his father cares for and sometimes brings home for extra help, has them too. Each morning, the family is supposed to share their dreams with one another. Jonas doesn't often dream, but when he does share a dream that he has about Fiona, a girl in his class, his mother tells him to begin talking a pill every morning that will stop these stirrings. Every evening, the family shares their feelings from the day and encourages each other to work through them. The day of the ceremony arrives, and the students sit in their birth order for that year. 50 children are born every year through birth mothers, which is a job in their society. Jonas is number 19, but when it comes time for his turn, the elders skip him. At the end of the chief elder comes forward and apologizes to the community for making them feel uncomfortable, and they accept her apology. She explains that Jonas will not be assigned a typical job. Instead, he has been selected as the new receiver of memory. Jonas goes home with a list of rules for this new position, of which he is completely unaware. Some of the more shocking rules say that he cannot discuss his training, he can't ask for medicine or be released, and he is allowed to lie. Jonas shows up at the annex behind the house of the old and meets the old man who will train him. Jonas is surprised to find a door with a lock and an off button next to the speaker for announcements. The current receiver explains that his job will be to transmit to Jonas memories of the past. He places his hands on Jonas' back to pass along memories, such as one where Jonas experiences leading. Since he is passing these memories into Jonas, he will be called the giver. Jonas develops his ability to see beyond what the giver transmits colors to him. And unfortunately, the giver also has to pass along painful memories, such as injuries, starvation, and war. Jonas has never experienced pain in his life, and he finds it difficult to deal with, especially since he can't talk to anyone about it. He asks the giver about the girl they tried to train as a receiver 10 years earlier. The giver says her name was Rosemary and she was his daughter. She was not able to handle the painful memories, so she requested to be released. Jonas learns what release means when he watches a video of his father injecting an infant with a syringe to the forehead in order to kill it. Rosemary injected herself with the syringe in order to die. Jonas and the giver both know that their society needs to change. They have no real choices, so they don't experience true feelings such as love. They come up with a plan to help the community and to free Jonas. Jonas will escape, and as he leaves, his memories will be set free into society. The giver will then help the community work through those feelings and show them the value of things that they have taken away, such as marriage and extended families. At the last minute, Jonas decides to take baby Gabriel with him because he finds out he has scheduled to be released. This change alters Jonas' plan so that he must ride his bicycle to leave town instead of hiding in a vehicle. As they ride, Jonas has to be careful of search planes using heat sensing technology to locate them. He passes on cold memories to himself and Gabe so that they will not be detected. After many days, as they are nearing starvation, Jonas comes to the top of a snow covered hill. He finds a sled sitting there, such just like the one he rode in the first memory, and he seems to be headed to elsewhere, a place where people can take care of him and Gabe. And the description of literary lens to be used is The Giver is a novel that as you re- as you listen to the summary, no, The Giver is novel siya that employs figurative language, which is language used to convey a meaning beyond the literal words on the page or in the novel. Throughout the novel, Laurie attempts to awaken each and every reader to the dangers that exist when people opt for conformity over individuality and for unexamined security over freedom. No? At one time in the past, the people who inhabited Jonah's community intended to create a perfect society. And the giver stresses precision of language, which is precise language, and however, in this community, it is not precise at all, but rather is all language in which the meanings of words are intentionally unclear. For example, no, each family unit participates in the telling of feelings. Katong telling of feelings when katong naga-dream sila, kailangan telling of feelings. And every evening, Louis Laurie has adopted a very euphemistic style in this novel now. However, the giver using usual sentences, but they are sometimes interspersed with run on and broken sentences. And also, the diction used in the novel is twisted to suit the new context of the futuristic type of society where the sameness has been implemented to achieve equality. Most of the diction is formal, though at some places Louis Laurie has used informal language for literary devices. Laurie has relied on alliteration, consonants, metaphors, and similes. So the evidence says that I've found on pages 171 to 172, it states that Jonas and Gabriel begin to starve. This could mean that they would also end up losing their sanity and even possibly see illusions. Also, the novel says, he killed it. My father killed it. On page 188, this is important because This shows how the community needs change because they kill innocent children. Yes. And Jonah's reacting showed that emotions help people care about others. And also, the author, Louis Laurie, uses conflict to show how life cannot be taken for granted. In the novel, will be released because he cannot sleep. And also, the evidence that I found all throughout chapter 23, it explains that Jonas and Gabrielle are agonizingly cold while surrounded by a snowy environment. This may lead to Jonas and Gabrielle to lose their sanity and see illusions as well. At the very end of the story, Jonas is able to see elsewhere, like what I have said earlier in the summary, the place they left the community to search for. However, it is possible that Jonas is seeing nothing but an illusion. He is hallucinate, and it is very sad for Jonas. And the novel states it's bye bye to you, Gabe, in the morning. In the page 207, this is important because it shows how Jonas' father had no compassion or love for Gabriel. He does not even care that Gabriel will be released. This reveals that the community needs change. In the novel, the author uses the characters, plot, and conflict to develop the theme that life cannot be taken for granted. Yes. And the author uses Jonas' father to help develop the theme that life cannot be taken for granted. And I think no, the author uses Jonas to help show how emotions help people not take life for granted. And my conclusion was The Giver is a stirring novel about a seemingly magnificent, for me, but ultimately terrible world. Um, it takes place in a remote area where everyone and everything unpleasant has been removed, and no suffering, hunger, theft, lying, or disorder exists, no? This is how it superficially appears, at least. There are also certain crucial elements of daily living absent from this location, no? And nobody knows how to be compassionate towards others since nobody ever experiences discomfort. And it is a very chilly environment emotionally, but the people who live there are okay with it because they are not accustomed to any other way of life. And also, my conclusion was The Giver is a great book for someone that wants to question their own way of life. And everyone in the community does horrible things as a part of their assignment, just uh, or the bad aspects of life can be eliminated. Kids are raised to have complete trust in their system of government, no? But Jonas learns that this trust is not healthy because it is a set in imaginary place that has no pain. The people have given up their ability to remember unpleasant things in life. And it sounds nice, but actually it is very terrible. And the last one is my conclusion was Jonas learns that his society is based on some horrible practices, no? He is faced with an awful decision and he can stay and keep the society the same, or he can leave and let all the bad memories go back to the people, and he eventually makes his choices and saves a small child from horrible death in the process. So that ends my novel, and thank you for watching.